everybody, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if this is your first time here. If this is your first time here and you like what you see, why don't you consider subscribing. Today for our wreath base making boot camp. Oh my god, the most ridiculous name I could have picked. We are making a one roll mesh wreath base. I already made this. I filmed this whole video and I used the wrong mesh and it is in the garbage. I'm very frustrated, but let us go forward. I don't know if this mesh is going to work. It's going to give you the general idea of what to do, but it might not have high enough coverage for this. For this, you want very high coverage mesh. I don't have any over here, and the one that I used is in the garbage because it was terrible. So we're going to have our 14-inch Dollar Tree wreath frame wide the way we always do. I'll put a card up there, and we have to make two different cuts for this wreath. You're going to do 6 pieces at 18 to 20 inches. I always do 18, not only because every time I cut 20 I run out, but I want an extra piece at the end. So first thing you're going to do, cut 6 18 to 20 inch pieces off. Do 18, just trust me. Cut those off, okay? Put those to the side. Then you're going to cut 24 10-inch pieces. That's these right here. They're actually 10 inches, wow. So cut 24 of those and keep track. Don't just keep cutting. And then when you're done, you should have a piece left that is about this size, which is like 16 inches. And that'll work for what we need. This is for the center. If you don't get this piece, you just don't have a piece to put in the middle. No big deal, but I want a piece to put in the middle because what I'm eventually going to put in this wreath needs a little extra behind it. Okay. Those are all my curls. All my ruffles are right here. I'm going to start at the inside with the ruffles. I just want to start on the inside because I don't want to be like reaching over all the curls to get to the ruffles. And they should go a lot quicker than the other one was. I'll tell y'all what happened with the other mesh and maybe how you can avoid it. Okay, so folding the edge under, ruffling up the middle just like we've done before. Pinching it, just getting it in there. This is a poly jute from Craft Outlet. They sell one at Hobby Lobby, but I know that one won't work because it's too thin. You want a mesh that has a lot of coverage because we're only using one roll. Well, I'm eventually going to use like 1.5 rolls, but I'm just going to show y'all what it looks like with one roll. This is a good base for a flatter wreath because it only ends up being, it's still 24 inches wide. It only ends up being like 4 inches deep. So I don't have a door that I can test this on, but you could probably get it between a door and like a screen door or a glass door, whatever, you know, whatever it is. And I don't know who originated this. The first time I saw it, it was on a live that Damon was doing on Deco Exchange. And he said one roll, and I said, what are you going to do with that? And he did it, and I was like, okay. So then I tried it, like, you know, the next day or something. And I was pleasantly surprised. But you do need a high coverage mesh if you want to just use one roll. So like a full foil mesh, a fabric mesh, if it's not the worst mesh you've ever used. I keep looking over at my garbage can where that whole roll of mesh is, like menacingly. What happened is, it's beautiful. Like, it is, the reason I ordered it is because it's really nice. It's like a cream color and it has like dark orange ticking through it. Like, you know, there's big line, there's wide stripes and smaller stripes. Y'all, when I talk about it just fraying, sticking, pulling out all that, it looked like something you shouldn't have put in a washer, but you put in a washer anyway. So I posted on Patreon, just like, oh my god, I'm so frustrated. And Miss Shonda said, oh yeah, I was going to get that, but I wasn't sure about the reviews. And I was like, oh, I didn't know they had reviews. So I went and looked at it, and everybody gave it like 2 stars. Which, no. If there was a way to give that 0 stars, I would. Because I don't even think that you would be able to use it as a poof. Like I always say, like, if you have trouble with a... Is this like 11 inches wide. If you have trouble with a mesh, because there's been ones before where I'm like, oh, I probably shouldn't have cut this, or I should have cut this with the wood burner, but like, you couldn't even make a poof wreath with it. Like, I don't know how anybody has used that successfully. Because all these little things on the edge, which, look, this one doesn't have them. The one that I just threw away, it had like all these little barbs sticking out. It was sticking to the fabric. It was pulling the fabric out. It was a mess. I have not been that frustrated in a while. And of course, I'm like trying to be optimistic while I'm making it and filming it. Like, oh, it's gonna be okay. You know, it's, oh yeah, oh no. And then at the end, I was like, I forgot to throw this away. So I took everything off, threw it away, and here we are. All right, so this is our 6th one in the middle. And this is already going much better because I don't have to struggle with this. All right, so that's ruffles on the inside. And if we cut 10-inch pieces, what are we going to do on the outside? Y'all know, curls. You cut the ruffles first because they need to stay, they can stay kind of flat, or they can be curly, it doesn't really matter. But you want these to kind of be pre-curled, and the closer you get to the spool, the tighter they're going to be. Like this one is, this is probably one of the first ones I cut, and then this is probably closer to one of the last ones I cut, so you can see they're different sizes. I'm just going to roll these up. I like mine to be about 2 inches across of that diameter. I don't know. So stack them on top of each other. Seam sides down, like the cut sides. Here's a cut side. Here's a cut side. Put that side down. That garbage can's not even full yet, but I'm going to take it out because I don't want to look at that mesh anymore. It's so funny, as soon as I was done filming, I took pictures for the thumbnail, and then I said, no, nope, I can't ship this out. And I think if you're getting into this as a business, you have to be aware that while something may be okay for you, because there's a lot of things that I've done, not wreath making, but like things that I've, you know, like if I cook something, and I know it tastes good, but maybe it doesn't look great. You know, like if you cook your pizza a little too long and it looks a little brown on top, not burnt, just very caramelized, and you're like, okay, it's not going to look great, but it tastes great, so I can eat it, but I'm not going to bring it to a party. Who brings pizza to a party? It's just, it's one of those things where it's very important for you to realize that just because, like, could I have made that wreath and kept it for myself and not had a problem with it? Probably, but I don't want a wreath, first of all. And I would have felt like adding anything else to that wreath would have just been throwing money away. And I definitely am not going to charge somebody money for that and have them, you know, maybe it looks okay in the pictures, and then I send it to them, they're like, yeah, this does not look great in person. But between you and me, it would have been very hard to take pictures of that wreath and have it look good. I would have had to have been very strategic in how I place my ribbons. And I don't want to be that person. Business, come lay down. Oh crap, something just fell behind a table. Alright, so I'm going to go through and add the rest of these. Excuse me? And, y'all, if you have, before I go through and add the rest of these, if you have any kind of Any kind of respiratory problems, and you any kind of respiratory problems and you're dealing with polyjute, put on a mask. I don't have respiratory problems, and every time I work with this, I'm just like, okay, so I'm gonna go around and finish this, get a bottle of water, and then I'll be back. Okay. I cut too many 10-inch pieces, which sucks, because if I hadn't cut that 10-inch piece off, I could put it in the middle. But I'm just gonna do the longer piece is the final ruffle in the middle and just put the curl on top of it, because you'll know I don't like excess mesh. So this is what it looks like with the hole in the middle. You can see like here, there's frame showing, which I don't like. Y'all know I don't like a frame showing. But if I come in here and kind of stand these up and turn these out, it's okay if I can see through out here. That's fine with me. I just don't want you to see the frame. I don't want you to see how the sausage is made. Isn't that what they say? Like you want to eat the sausage, but you don't want to see how it's made. So, there you go. It is about... I'm trying not to smash it down. So it's about like, yeah, 4. It's still 24 by 24. The last thing I'm going to do is put a pipe cleaner through my cross brace right here. And this is optional, as always. Y'all know I don't want to hold on a wreath. And not that I have anything against a hole, it's just I need this to support something that's going to go like right here. So this is our 16-inch piece, I believe. Yeah, and this is just another curl that's at 10 inches. Yeah. So ideally, this would be one big ruffle that we could put in the middle, but that's fine. So even though this isn't the fullest coverage mesh, this still looks pretty good. Like, I'd be okay. Like, where is this? I can never find these things. Like, right here, this is showing. Once you put some ribbons, some embellishments, floral, whatever you're going to do, it's going to be fine. I'm going to put this in, and then make sure I stretch it out that way, and then go put the curl in the other way. Alright, that is a 1 roll of mesh. This is a great way, it is a great base if you're trying to save a little bit of money, because you're only using 1 roll of mesh. if you need something flatter, if you just don't, I mean, if you're gonna cover, like, this is my, let me tell y'all a secret. Wait. If you are going to be the person who makes a giant bow, glues a bunch of stuff on here, completely covers up this mesh, do this. If it's a wreath where you know you're gonna barely see any of the mesh, just go in, make the one roll. It's good. It's big. It covers. So that's the front. That's the back. It's not very interesting to look at, but I mean, it's not interesting as, like, you know, ruffles and cruffles and all that, but yeah. And it doesn't help that this is just a natural wreath. If you had something like a high coverage mesh that had a bunch of stripes on it or something, that would look really cool. So yeah, give that a try next time you need a thinner wreath, or you're on a budget, or you know you're going to add a lot of crap on top of it. This is a good way to go. So thank you guys for watching. I've said this already in the other video, but you know, oh my god, I'm still traumatized from the other video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week with 3 new bases.